Welcome back, everybody. This is thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Stardew Valley. So we've reached a pretty momentous day, and that is because today we are officially going to be joining the Joja Corporation by becoming a member of the Joja Mart. Yes, we know to fish. I haven't done a lot of fishing yet in this playthrough, but I will be getting to it eventually. And it is a rainy day, as you can notice through the window there. And also our dog being inside. And hello, Demetrius. So I think once you get Demetrius up to 1 heart of affinity, he will come by your farm and he will offer to do something to the cave that's over to the west side of the farm, above where the greenhouse ruins are. And so basically he will say, I'm going to try to attract some things to the cave, and you can choose what you would like me to do. We can either do mushrooms or fruit bats. Now the fruit bats can be nice because they can sometimes give you some pretty rare fruit that you would typically only get from fruit trees. But overall, the mushrooms, I believe, are the better investment. Simply because you get mushrooms every day. And so it's a consistent amount of money that you're going to get from selling those mushrooms. And you can also get pretty rare mushrooms too. So we managed to get Demetrius to 1 heart, and so now we can, starting tomorrow, access those mushrooms. You found an energy pill in your drawer somewhere, Pam, huh? Well, she might also send you a beer. Shockingly, I know. But that is one of the best items in the game for restoring your energy and health. So thank you very much, Pam. That was certainly worth giving you that pretty common daffodil off of the ground we found on your birthday. Being a rainy day, in addition to getting our membership at the Joja Mart, we are also going to be mining today and trying to get down quite a few levels, at least 10 levels today. I want to get down to at least level 40 over the next few days so we can start getting to the iron ore. Because that is going to be essential for a few things. 1, upgrading our tools, and 2, making bee houses. So we harvested our parsnips there. We're going to continue to work on making some copper bars. And we're going to plant some of these parsnips as well and buy some more when we head over to the Joja Mart. And we're also going to give Haley her second gift for this week. Now, Haley does not like going out on rainy days, as you can see. But hopefully this terrible pickup line will make up for that. So Haley, you must have had some cheese for breakfast because you're looking Gouda today. And yes, I do check all of these pickup lines on my wife, and I'm happy to report they've all gotten sufficient eye rolls. So now we're over at Clint. And we're going to break open some of these geodes. Hopefully we'll get some new stuff to give to the museum. I think we're pretty close to getting the next summer reward. And since we're still a couple of days away from summer, that'll be nice. We ultimately want to get to about 50 items for the museum, because that will allow us to access a new area in the valley here. But we did get some mudstone, which is pretty nice. So that's a new item that we can give to Gunther. Looks like Penny's hanging out over here under the awning to get out of the rain. And we also got this prehistoric skull. Now that wasn't enough to get a reward, but I think we're a little bit closer, and I think probably the next 1 or 2 items will actually give us a new reward. And this book that we found in one of the dig spots lets us know that basically talking to people and befriending them gives you various perks, which includes things like recipes through the mail and gifts, as we saw with Pam. We got a pretty awesome item from Pam already. So I wonder what this mammalian skull was. And mudstone. Hopefully we don't have to build with that anymore. We can use some better materials. But now we're going to head up to the Joja Mart. And it's about time. We are finally going to join and thrive. So you'll notice the parsnip seeds are 25 apiece. So they're actually more expensive than getting them at Pierre's, as long as you are not a member of the Joja Mart. But once you become a member, all of the stuff you can buy here actually drops down to the same price as what you can buy at Pierre's. Now Pierre's will still sell a little bit more variety, but in essence, Joja basically is better in the sense that it's open every day of the week except on holidays, and they're open much later. They're open till 11 p.m. And they're going to convert the old community center into a warehouse. So it costs 5,000 gold to join. So of course we're going to do that, right? I give you one last chance to back out here, because essentially once you agree to this, you will no longer be able to complete the community center route. On this save anyway. You'll have to do a different save if you want to get those achievements or see what happens when you go that route. So he will basically say, come back tomorrow and we can get started on these community development projects, which all cost money that we do not have. But I did that because we're going to be buying a lot of seeds. Not so much today, but very soon, once we start off in summer, we're going to be buying lots of seeds to restock our field with new crops. And we want to make sure that we are maximizing our potential with that and not having to pay too much for those seeds. So now the parsnip seeds are their normal price of 20 per. A copper bar? I mean, Jody, you don't really matter to me, so no. I don't think so. Hello there, Abigail. I guess I'm taking a little bit of a break. That's what having a nice rainy day does for you. And we did get Caroline up to 2 hearts, so now we can access her back room, which allows us to get to the tea plant and actually get some tea leaves. So from the 22nd to the 28th of each month, these tea plants will actually produce tea leaves, 1 per day. And you can sell those, or you can actually turn them into green tea. You'll have to use a keg in order to make tea. So the rest of the day we're going to spend mining. My goal is to get down at least 10 levels, so I'm going to take a quick look around and see if there's anything worth getting. But then I'm basically going to make a mad dash down to the stairs for the most part for most of these floors, just to get down as quickly as possible. Especially considering that the floors starting on level 30 are some of the worst in the game. So 30 to 40, that particular stratum of the mine, is my least favorite because it is the dark area. And I'll show it off and let you kind of see why I hate it so much. We're still in the relatively easy area of the mine here. Especially with our copper pickaxe, we're going to break through these stones pretty fast. Otherwise it would take a couple hits as we get deeper to break through each stone. Now here we have an infested floor. So basically we have to kill all of the enemies in order to advance, and it's a lot of slimes. So that's good for our slime hunter achievement that we can go after. I'm not sure we're ever going to get there on this file, simply because you have to kill 1,000 slimes. But we'll try. We'll see how many we can kill. It does include slimes from any location you can kill them. And you'll notice these big slimes, which sometimes when you kill them, they will split into these little slimes, which will continue to assault you. Luckily, they don't cast dissolve on us and destroy our equipment, like they do in some other games. But here we are, we've made it to floor 30. Unfortunately, no treasure chest here. But this is the beginning of the dark floors. So 30 to 40 is the dark area. So you're going to want to use torches, or hopefully you've been lucky enough to get a light ring, which will put a little bit of a circle of light around you. It's really the only area in the cave that has this. So the torches can be used, as you can see, to light up the way and help you see where you're going. But there we go. We got down to floor 35, so that's enough for today. We'll finish off the last 5 levels some other day, probably tomorrow. So that was a very successful day. We leveled up our mining, we got down 10 floors in the mine, and we also joined Joja, and now we are going to thrive. I mean, we were thriving already, but now we're just going to do even better. And coming up in a couple days, I don't think tomorrow, but maybe the day after, is the Flower Festival. And we'll get to dance with our soon-to-be beloved. So as usual with events in this game and holidays, the weather is always going to be nice. So it's going to be sunny. Oh, we have a cabbage. I don't know if that's good enough to actually harvest, though. But we're going to be featured in the new up-and-coming column of the Stardew Valley Tribune. How sweet. And Mayor Lewis lets us know that at the Flower Festival, we can actually get a partner, if we're high enough in affinity with them, to actually dance with us. And that is all of the bachelors and bachelorettes. And we do have one person that we can actually get to dance with us, and that is Haley. They need to be at least at 4 hearts. And they do have to be a bachelor or a bachelorette to accept the invitation. And it's not like you have to do it the day before or anything like that. You just do it at the dance itself. But there are only a few characters that it's actually really possible to get up to 4 hearts for this first dance. And Haley is the easiest to do that with. But there are a few others that you can get up to as well, including Shane is possible. It takes a lot of effort, and possibly Leia as well. It's not as easy as Haley, but I think it is technically possible to get both of them up to 4 hearts before the dance. I could be wrong, though. But each of them does have a loved gift that you can give to them before the dance. It's just they don't have a birthday, which is one of the things that gave us a massive boost with Haley, even though we only gave her liked gifts. Shane and Leia's birthdays are later in the year. But let's go check out that mushroom cave. So see what we get on our first day. Alright, well, we get all the common mushrooms. There are, I think, 4 different mushrooms that you can find in here. The common mushroom, a chanterelle, and also a red and purple mushroom. Wiggly worms, and we found a chewing stick. Nice. We'll have to hand that into the museum. Maybe that'll get us our next reward. I guess we'll find out. And since it's still spring, we're also going to look for spring onions. Now, they're not worth a ton, of course. Only about 10 or 15 gold apiece. But they do contribute to our foraging and help us get experience, so that we can level that up and get a nice perk once we get to 5. We're back, Clint. Again! We went into the mines yesterday, and we found a lot more geodes. So let's see what we find now. Now, the basic geode is not going to be what you find throughout the whole mine. You actually will find other versions of geodes that actually have other items you can get out of them, because your pool of items available with the basic geode is somewhat limited. But that's a pretty nice haul. Let's see if we have anything new. Oh, Gunther. Just the chewing stick, and also, I think that's called the Thunder Egg, but sweet, we got a reward. So we'll put them both on the same side of the table to make it easier to actually look at them. But our reward is a single starfruit seed. We don't get 9 like with the melon seeds. And that's because starfruits are some of the most valuable crops in the game. They're a summer crop, and you actually can get them and buy them, but not from a vendor we can currently access. Interesting. Thunder Egg here. Too bad we don't have a Pikachu to give it to. Maybe it would power up its thunder attacks. But that would be in a different game. So we want to buy a few more seeds here. I would buy a lot more. I'm just going to buy enough to fill my field. But basically, I don't know how many I would need in terms of what's going to come to be able to harvest tomorrow. And so I don't want to buy a bunch of extra seeds and waste the money on them with us so close to the end of summer and so few days left to actually have crops come in for another harvest. But here are the 5 projects through the Community Development Projects tab. The most important for me are the bus and the greenhouse. The priority is the greenhouse and then the bus. The least important is panning. And then the mine carts and the bridge are somewhere in the middle. Now, it may look like a lot of money, but once you get going in summer and fall, you're going to be making a ton of money. And so it doesn't take that long to finish off all 5 of these. So we'll get there. It's not going to take that long. Hello, Abigail. We always seem to keep running into each other. Yeah, we're not good enough friends to dance together tomorrow. So the 6 bachelors do dance with the 6 bachelorettes unless you, as the player, go in and actually take one of their places. And then whoever you take the place, oh, look at that beautiful blue. They sit out the dance. But isn't this wonderful? It's not beat up anymore. It doesn't look dilapidated. It's a beautiful blue warehouse. That's progress. I mean, there is still one dilapidated area over to the right, the vault, but oh well. And now that we became a member, the rest of the citizens are like, gee, I guess times are changing. The community center's gone. And Pierre is feeling the pressure. I mean, that does suck, Pierre. Maybe you need to lower your prices a little bit. Maybe that would get me to actually buy stuff from you. It wouldn't. So we'll just talk to all 5 of these girls. And we'll also grab a tea leaf. And then we'll head on out. Head back to my farm, plant those seeds, and also head to the mine and try to get down to floor... Oh geez, cutscene time. 40 in the mines. Hello there. So, Caroline somehow was able to get ahead of us from her exercising without us seeing her and get in here. I mean, it's very nice. I would say it's probably pretty hot. And I'm not going to say it's not as good as my farm, but we'll just say it's beautiful. Because it is. I would love to have a room like this in my house. Now, I wouldn't necessarily grow tea in it, because I'm not a tea drinker. I know, blasphemy. I don't drink coffee either. That doesn't mean I don't drink caffeine. I just don't drink it in those 2 forms. But this was added in a later patch to the game. So if you watch playthroughs of this, normally I wouldn't have a cup because I don't like tea. But for the purposes of this cutscene, we'll have a cup. We'll play along. But if you watch playthroughs of this game from earlier patches, this room doesn't exist. It was added in a later patch of the game. And I like it because it adds some character to Caroline. Now this cutscene, similar to the Wizards, is a little psychedelic. So we don't know exactly what's in this tea. I mean, it's green tea, I think. I don't know anything about tea. But obviously what they're growing here in the valley, as we found with the Wizard, and what we drank from him, and now this tea. Because, yeah... strange things can happen when you consume stuff here in the valley. But not from our farm. Our farm does not produce these psychedelic effects. I promise you that. We have the Joja seal of approval. No psychedelic effects from our produce. I mean, that does make sense. Life is hectic. So it's nice to be able to relax, and if this does it for you, then great. I'll just choose to do something a little different. But thank you for letting me access this place because it gives me free tea leaves that I can turn into green tea to sell, or I can just sell the tea leaves themselves. We're going to plant these, and another benefit of getting that cutscene with Caroline is now she will actually give us the recipe for creating our own tea trees. So we can grow our own tea leaves. Alright, so we're down to floor 39 here. We're almost to floor 40. We're almost done with the darkness. Unfortunately, this playthrough I have not found a light ring. Usually by now I do find at least a small light ring, but I just have not gotten lucky. We can eventually build one through the crafting menu, but if I can find one, that would be even better. But really, we don't need it for the mines necessarily. It is nice to have a light ring, just for when you're walking around and doing stuff at night. We're running out of energy here. Not finding the stairs. But again, it's also helpful to get to floor 40 because then we will be able to access the next area of the mines, which has the iron ore. And that is essential for upgrading our tools as well as making bee houses, as I've mentioned previously. Uh-oh. So we have a shadow monster here. You're not really going to see them probably that well. You can see their eyes. But that's kind of the unique enemy of this area of the mines. They pop up in the darkness and attack you. And then usually they'll drop stone. Here's one you can see a little bit better. And if you picked the farm that allows enemies to attack you, there's actually a weed version of this enemy that's unique to that particular farmscape. But we're still looking for those stairs, and oh no. This means we're getting swarmed by enemies. In this case, bats. So let's see if we can find those stairs as quickly as possible before we get absolutely demolished by bats. I think I see them. They're right there. Okay, we made it. Floor 40. We get the absolutely useless slingshot. It used to be useful back when explosive ammo was a lot stronger. But nowadays, it's not very helpful. I never use it. Our quest is updated that basically we have no sign of the bottom of the mine, so we do not know how deep they go. So that's our next goal, to see how deep it goes. But let's sleep for the night, and tomorrow we have a big day, because we are actually going to go to our second festival, the flower dance. So that should be cool. So again, similar to the egg festival, the flower dance is going to take up the entirety of your day once you go to the event. And unfortunately, everything is closed on a festival day. So if we do have things to harvest today, today would be the last day we could plant parsnips and actually get them to come in before the end of the month, because it's a 28-day month. But unfortunately, yeah, I don't think I have any seeds on standby. And nothing is going to be open, so I can't go to Pierre's or the Joja Mart to actually get more seeds. Oh, thanks, Mom. And here's the letter from Caroline letting us know that she's going to give us instructions on how to grow our own tea trees. And giving her tea leaves is actually one of her loved gifts. I think it's loved. It might be liked, but I'm pretty sure it's loved. But we are actually going to grow some tea saplings because, again, it's just easy money. It doesn't take a lot to grow them. They're pretty easy to make. You just need wild seeds of any type from any season, and then a little bit of fiber and a little bit of wood. And to make wild seeds for spring specifically, we just need to find one of each of the forage items. And that'll allow us to grow 5 tea trees. And then we can either throw those tea leaves into a keg to make green tea, or we can just sell the tea leaves themselves. But this is all areas of our plot we are not going to be able to replant. So that's it for this season. The only thing we'll have left are the parsnips that are still growing, and also one more harvest of strawberries. So I'm missing out on about 20 parsnips worth of profit, so that's about, I want to say 500-ish gold after the subtraction of the cost. But here's the recipe for the wild seeds. So it's not a huge problem, but it is a little bit of a bummer to miss out on about 500 gold. But all we need to do now is water, and then we will head off to the festival. And that has been your moment of mindfulness for this week. Alright, we have a new mushroom. A chanterelle. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how I've always pronounced it. So again, just to show that you can't go to the Joja Mart and actually buy seeds on a festival day, which I would love to, buy about 20 parsnip seeds to fill my field for one last harvest. It's locked. Now it's locked for us, not for other people. So the people going about their day and doing their usual routine, as you'll notice, like Pam here and Jody and Sam, who works at the Joja Mart, even though it's locked, they can get in. I guess they have special keys. They must be members, and perhaps members of some sort of special loyalty program. But let me in. No. So we headed down to Cindersap Forest, and now we are going to go into the Flower Festival, or the Flower Dance. So this is actually an area you can only access during this particular festival. That bridge is not there normally, and so you can't come over to this particular part of the map. But you'll notice Pierre here has a stand. It is, I believe, one of the only festivals that you cannot talk to Pierre outside of his menu here for purchasing items. Now, he doesn't have any seeds or anything, it's all basically decorative. You are going to want to buy the Tub of Flowers recipe if you're going to want to craft something of everything, if you're going for that achievement. But what we want is a dandelion, because that'll allow us to combine with our other forage to create some spring seeds. And that'll let us make some tea trees. I would normally buy a rare crow as well, but because we are on such a time pressure here of 1 year, I'm not going to buy it. You could always buy it at a future one. But now we have one each of the different forage items. So that will let us craft 10 particular seeds of wild seeds of spring. And then we'll add that to our wood and our fiber to create some tea saplings. But I think at most of the other festivals you can actually go behind Pierre's stand and talk to him, including the Egg Festival. I didn't do it, but if you go all the way around his shop to the right and come around the back of it, you can actually get to him. And again, I think that was something added to a later patch in the game. I'm not sure if you can here. I'm pretty sure you can't access him at this festival, and it might be the only one you can't. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe there's a little gap there that you can get through that I'm not aware of. But you see some pairings here of people. Some of the bachelors and bachelorettes that, if you want to think about in terms of Harvest Moon and older Harvest Moon games, Pam, I'm talking here. You're just gonna stand there and stare at my back? Yes, I'm not surprised it's the wine that is most exciting to you. Well, that's good, Sam. I like it too. Sebastian, not so much. Well, I'm sorry, Abigail. I guess you don't have to do it, right? Free meals. Can't complain. We have the kids here. I mean, you would think it would just be a flower king or queen, right? But I guess it's always the flower queen, which allows Jazz in the future to perhaps win by default. I do like them. They look nice. Sorry, George. Maybe you need glasses. Hello, Haley. Your dance moves are to walk back and forth. Sounds about right for a game like this. Understandable. Those flower baskets do look really nice. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more, say no more. Oh, poor Marnie. Your love life is an interesting thing in this game. We'll get into it a little bit later. Yeah, spring is an okay season. It's one of my two favorites, I suppose, along with fall. Not a huge fan of summer or winter. Yeah, and you do have to dance in front of everybody. You can see how it would make people a little nervous, especially considering what the dance looks like. But in terms of Harvest Moon, they had rival events, where essentially all the bachelors and bachelorettes would end up pairing up with each other if you didn't create relationships with them. And I would love to dance with Jazz, but I guess we're going to have to go with Haley. So again, if you're not at least 4 hearts, if you ask a person, they will not accept your invitation. But since we're at least 4 hearts with Haley, she will dance with us. Sorry, Alex. You're going to be on the bench this time. See what I did there? I used a sports analogy. Yeah, let's just do it. So again, the dance is going to pair up the 6 bachelors and bachelorettes with, I think, what their canon relationships are. So you have Elliot and Leia, Maru and Harvey. You have Alex, who's not dancing because we're taking his place with Haley, Emily, and I believe that's Shane, Penny with Sam, and then Abigail with Sebastian. But we don't even get a costume. But what a beautiful ceremony this is. What a beautiful dance. And I guess Haley won Flower Queen yet again. Sorry, Jazz. Maybe next year. But what a lovely event. Let's go home. So we do lose the rest of our day. So we're just going to go to bed. And then my next episode, well, things are going to change a little bit as we're finishing up with spring and preparing for summer. So as always, viewers, thanks for watching and the continued support, and I'll see y'all next time. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.